Ciao everyone, my name is Mank and welcome to the best tips in Valorant to start getting kills. Come from Heartstuck Silver. Okay, but before you leave, I want you to know that I've been around. First off, I get hella frags, okay? So especially if you're new to like tactical shooters like Counter-Strike and Valorant, this will help you out. Okay, I'll have timestamps in the description for all the tips so I don't waste too much of your time if you're already familiar with what I'm talking about. But yes, I know that there's a decent amount of videos like this, but I've tried to pick out some new ones, and also all of them are literally generic and boring. So I'll try to make this as short and fun as possible for you guys, and also it's literally every video sounds the exact same with their intros and shit. So yeah, but without further ado, roll the intro. Psych, I ain't got no intro. Number uno is crouching too early. Now, don't get me wrong, crouching is a really useful tool to use because it lowers the bullet spread of your gun, so naturally you're inclined to push it as soon as you can. This is bad, however, because a lot of people you will encounter will be aiming at your stomach. Like, literally, the amount of times that I've seen somebody freaking go through garage like this and just be like, oh, I don't know where their heads are, and then they start spraying. You see how the recoil takes you up? That's going to go eventually up to your head, and this is making it super easy for beginners because once you start crouching, your head gets at their stomach level, so it's just super easy to kill you. And these kids have absolutely no idea what recoil control is, so I'll talk about that later too. Anyway, when you crouch in a gunfight, this just, like I said, just increases your chances of getting popped, and also it removes all of your mobility. So if you get shot, on top of the slow that it does whenever you start getting shot, there's no way that I would be able to rotate out if someone was shooting me from there. So you need to stop pressing shift as always you do. You know, I'm guilty of this one. I always panic crouch whenever I see someone. It's just an instinct, but most of the time it just ends up getting me killed to situations that I could have walked out of. Now, don't take this advice as you should never use it. In fact, a well-placed crouch can win you gunfights, but if you make yourself predictable and always hold it down and you just see someone, chances are you will just die. Number two, I see this all the time. I see people always aiming at the legs. Now, this I already talked about, but when they are checking corners and rotating, okay? You guys need to be ready for anyone, anywhere, especially in this game. People do not stick together like they do in Counter-Strike, okay? Like right now, you should know to peek every corner and be ready. You can't just lazily peek it because chances are that a kid's just going to be hiding there. And then when you die, you're going to get mad because you should have paid more attention. So, also, coming with peeking corners, okay? Crosshair placement is massive, okay? You can't be aiming at their stomach because they're going to be ready like this by the doorway at your head. So they're going to pop you a lot faster than you are. So you have to be ready. Check corners everywhere. Boom. Get ready to shoot, okay? Now, I can't tell you how many times I've been just zoned out completely, and then I was just lucky because my crosshair was already on their head, so I didn't have to like adjust or micro adjust and things like that. And those microseconds are really small, like 1 second or something like that. That is what can end up getting you killed and can lose the round for your team. Anyway, a thing that helped me, and I hear this a lot, and a lot of people just don't do it, but if you record your footage and then you go through it, because a lot of the time you just zone out and don't realize where your crosshair is during the game, but if you look at your gameplay after you record it, you will see how many times you did a good job of crosshair placement and stuff like that, and how many times it was too low, so you know on what to work on. A lot of kids say this, like I said before, but if you do this, you actually will see improvements if you guys are trying to take this game more seriously. Now, it's no secrets that after a few games, you will start getting burnt out. Feel like no matter what you do, you're just going against a team of freaking shrouds and you keep just getting clapped. A lot of this game is about confidence, and when you constantly keep thinking about dying, you end up doing just that. That's why sometimes you have to change things up. Changing your crosshair gives you a bunch of confidence. I really don't know why, but it just feels like you have a card on your sleeve that you're ready to whip out. Oh, shit. Oh, no. That's us. Nah, I wasn't talking like that. Listen, all I wanted to say is that a different crosshair can change your gameplay and add flavor to your stale game experience. Now, I personally started off with a dot, as you can see in my previous videos. These just got super old for me, and it just wasn't working out, so I switched to this crosshair. A lot of people say that the borderlines like are ugly or whatever, but listen, whatever works for you guys, like sure, go ahead and experiment, but if people are saying that your crosshair is ugly, that doesn't mean that it's bad, okay? This is literally all about preference, okay? If you like moving crosshairs, use that. If you like the starting crosshair, use that. It really doesn't matter as long as you end up clicking heads and out fragging them, so they really can't say shit. But this one is important to all of you who didn't play CSGO. It's economy. Now, Listen, every gun you buy costs a different amount of money. Same goes for abilities and armor. What I see often is people always just buy whatever they want, no matter how much credits they have. The thing is that you should always think about what you're buying, not just go on autopilot and buy whatever is highlighted white. For example, if you, let's say you win pistol round, no, you shouldn't buy AK or Phantom in the second round. This is because the opponent team will most likely have trash weapons with low armor, saving your pistol for the round. Saving your pistol for the round or buying a Spectre with light armor already puts you in a massive advantage. Getting kills should be easy. I could make a more in-depth video on what you should buy and when you should buy it, but I'm gonna try to keep this kind of short. So although if you're having questions, just put it in the comments and I'll try to help. Okay, so I want you to quickly imagine. You need to close your eyes, whatever you have to do to get in the mood. Imagine that a teammate calls out that they see an A-log, Houston, we got a problem. We got one kid at A-log. I'm gonna need you guys to do something about it. Now, do you A, rotate? Do you B, rotate? Do you C, rotate? Or D, not be a dumb thought and wait for your team to see the spike? Wow, it's D, dude. Congrats, you have a brain. Nah, but all jokes aside, yes, this is what you should do. A lot of the time, just because your team sees one person, you should not leave another site empty. They could easily just rush into a site, and then you have to fight back for control, which is a lot harder than you just holding sites. Unless you're positive that they're going for that site, you always just wait it out and not chase for the frags. Now, I know this is super tempting, but especially if you have an AK, for example, if I was holding long here and I see one kid going A long, okay, kids, like I said this before, in this game, people do not stick in packs as much as they do in Counter-Strike, okay? In Counter-Strike, rushing B and things like that is super common in lower ranks that are not professional and stuff like that. But here, people usually spread apart. They have two people going C, one kid B, two A. You don't know where Spike is. If you let go of this, if I start running A and I'm like, oh shit, no, the Spike is actually C, I have to go back here. And now the enemy could be camping this, the enemy could be over there, over there. They just have advantage on me because quite frankly, there's only 3 places that I can come from, but I will not be able to go all the way back from C. So 2, garage and that place. Okay, they have like 3 kids on the site already, so that's going to be super easy for them to hold just 2 different sites. Okay, this makes it just super hard for you, so don't rotate right when you see someone. You have to see the spike icon for you to go, because this will lose you so many rounds. Okay, now listen, for beginners, this is a super important tip. I know you guys probably already heard about this, but if some of you don't know what it means, okay, it's recoil control. Virtually no other games other than CSGO and Valorant have it to the extent that this game has, and it basically means that every gun has a recoil pattern. For example, the Vandal goes up. The Vandal goes up, left, right in a magazine, okay? So what you have to do is you have to go the opposite directions for you to shoot more in a dot, for example. So you go down, right, left, okay? So I have infinite ammo on, so that's why I'm shooting more, but here, down, right, left. So this basically gives you a more accurate spray, so you don't have to aim at the stomach like I said before, to just wait and get a headshot, a lucky headshot. So keep in mind that the farther you are from your target, the harder it gets, and you have to pull down much lower. So like, for example, if I was standing all the way over here and I'm trying to hit that pillar, I'm gonna have to compensate for how long it goes up, so I'm gonna be looking a lot more down than, for example, if I were to be right here. So you notice how my crosshair had to be all the way down here for me to get somewhat of a consistent spray, and over there it is much more smaller. So you're gonna see that the further you are, the farther your recoil pattern goes, which is why you have to compensate more. You have to go more to the right, more to the left. So keep in mind that I also struggle with this a lot, is tapping instead of spraying whenever you see someone. I know it's super tempting to try to put as much bullets as you can on them, but well-placed headshots and body shots are going to be a lot more key than you just trying to spray and get that kill, even though if you have the recoil pattern perfectly down. Also, I just wanted to show you this. I did not know this before, but every spray has it has the basic guideline of going up, left, to the right, but sometimes it goes more to the left and less to the right. Sometimes it goes more right and less to the left. So just keep in mind that it hasn't really affected my spray, at least from what I've noticed, but it's just good to know that. So here. You see, so he went like all the way back there. It's not really that noticeable, but it's just good for you to know. That one thing that I've heard that actually helps is to look at the gun barrel with your peripheral vision, so you can kind of look at it. So you can kind of look at your barrel, and then you can see where it's going. So it's getting a lot more easier to control your spray instead of just trying to like kind of, you know, just look at it and just guess. Now I personally don't really use this tip as much as I should, so I'll incorporate that in my gameplay later, but I got this from Dr. Zor's video, which he made a great video on just in general recoil control. So if you guys want a more in-depth look on that, make sure to check his video out. Okay, so you can have perfect mechanical skill, but at the end of the day, if you can't aim, you really can't do anything. So here are ways to get it better. Valorant offers a pretty good tool, which basically just spawns in bots for you, and then you can tap them. So I get that you're not going to be as comfortable as you are once you do it over and over, but so if that's the case, you can start off with spraying them. Over here, I'm just trying to one-tap it in the face, but you can start off by spraying them, then move up to bursting them, and then finally move up to one-tapping them. You can also change how many bots are going to spawn, so you can test your spray control, and then you can also make the speed a lot faster, as I show in a later clip. This makes it a lot harder, and it's not designed for, you know, the beginners to use it. But once you guys feel confident enough, you can guys try it. You know, I missed a decent amount over here, but because it's pretty hard, so don't beat yourself up if you don't do that well. Okay, now, if you don't feel like using the tool in Valorant, I get that it's very limited. There's another option over here. It's called Aim Labs. Basically what you saw before that was a menu that showed you all the different video games. It changes the sensitivity and how the overall simulation feels based on the game that you selected, as Apex Legends, CSGO. But this is a tutorial for Valorant, so we don't care about those games. Basically what this has is just different aim practices that you can practice for flicking or getting better accuracy or things like that. You have a workshop mode where you can click whatever you want, or you have just a preloaded folder that basically just gives you different warm-ups for a certain game. So what I'm playing here is the Valorant warm-up. I usually play this every single time before I start a game session, because playing Valorant before you're warmed up is probably one of the worst feelings ever, because you always get murked on. But yeah, this is a great way to get your aim down, you know, just warm up for the day if you're going to play a long gaming session, and just in general just have more fun. But thank you guys for watching nonetheless. I really appreciate you if you watched this as far as you did. I know I'm a new YouTuber, so if you went through this whole thing, then I would just like to thank you for that, because I get it's not the easiest thing to watch lower production videos. But nonetheless, if you liked what I did here, just make sure to subscribe if you guys want to. Whatever the notification thingy is, I really don't care about that. But hey, you know, might as well just click that as well. And leave a comment if you guys have any questions. Not to sound super generic, but anything. But anyway, yeah, I love you guys. And yeah, bye-bye.